This one is my favorite song on the whole album. How's it going, everybody? My name is Skylar Geer, an independent country singer-songwriter from Sandy, Utah, and this is A Country Singer Reviews Country Music.
As long as my dream's alive, I will survive.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Skylar Geer, independent country singer-songwriter from Sandy, Utah. And I'm going to be reviewing some country records. So if you've got any favorites, let me know in the comments. Please make sure to like and subscribe. There'll be more coming out. This is something new I'm starting. Why not have that kind of insider perspective, a country singer reviewing other country albums? Now, I'm not very well established, as a lot of these people are, but I am still working on my debut album. I do have some EPs and some singles out there. If you are so kind to go take a listen to those, I would appreciate it. And I'm hoping for a mid-2026, probably late summer release for my first album. There'll be some singles along the way as well. So follow along, and let's have some fun. Let's listen to country music. Today we're going to be reviewing Zach Top's sophomore album, Ain't In It For My Health. All right, Ain't In It For My Health, Zach Top. His first album was great. If you haven't heard that one, go check that one out. This one, I believe, just won a Grammy. So this is some serious stuff, guys. Let's get into it. So Zach Top, the album cover. It's just Zach kind of in a dark room holding the guitar. It's got some nice light red colors around him. He's just kind of slightly got his head cocked, and he's holding that guitar with some small font with his name and the album title, and it's just very simple and cool. This album was produced by Carson Chamberlain. If you don't know him, Zach talks about him a lot in interviews. Basically was his mentor. He played steel guitar for Keith Whitley, was an A&R director at a Mercury Nashville label, and then he became a producer, Billy Currington, Easton Corbin, and I think a few others. And he had just found Zach online, posted a video, and they became good friends, and now he's producing him, and they pretty much write all these songs. Looks like they've written every song on this album, and then there's a few co-writes as well with other people. Also, an interesting note, Zach plays the acoustic guitar on this whole album, which is pretty neat. You don't get that a lot from, big artists and musicians. They usually just sing the songs. So that's really nice, and obviously Zach's super talented on the guitar, so it makes sense. Of course he would do that. And then all the electric parts in the song is played by Brent Mason. If you don't know Brent Mason, you do know Brent Mason. He's played on almost every big country album ever since he's been around. You name it, Brent Mason's on it. So as I mentioned, all the songs on this record are written by Carson Chamberlain and Zach Top. There are a handful that they have co-writers on. So let's start off with the first song, Guitar. This is written with Tim Nichols. He's a successful songwriter. He's had quite a few big hits with other people, specifically Live Like You Were Dying by Tim McGraw. But this song is just kind of a nice way for Zach to show off a little bit. He can play the hell out of that guitar, and he's just ripping on the acoustic here. He's better than I ever will be. I'm more of a strummer, a rhythm guy, and I let, much more talented, smarter people than me play all the hard stuff. But the song itself just talks about his love for the guitar, and it has a very nice 90s nostalgic sound. Most of these songs do. They all have that vibe. There's a fun line in the song. It's gotten me a lot of girls, and it's cost me some jobs. I love that line. That's awesome. Hilarious, because he's just talking about a guitar. So overall, it's a solid song. I'm not rushing back to listen to this one, but it's just a good, solid country song, and for that, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 guitar. All right, song number 2, we've got Good Times in Tan Lines. This song's written by Wyatt McCubbin. You're going to hear that name a lot. He is all over this record as a co-writer. He's also a singer-artist himself. He's got a new song out called Two-Tone Trippin' alongside Chase Rice. I'm a big Chase Rice fan. As far as this song goes, it's nothing crazy, nothing we haven't heard before, but it's got a very nostalgic sound. It sounds very much like Alan Jackson. You could bump this on the boat in the summer. I really like the bridge section where this kind of piano cuts through the mix. But just a good, fun, upbeat summer song. And I give that a 7 out of 10. Song number 3, When You See Me. This is also co-written with Mr. Wyatt McCubbin. This is a ballad. It's really nice. It's got a steel guitar kind of cutting through the back end of the mix, which I love. Zach has that total 90s sound delivery of the song completely mastered. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's so unique, we've never heard it before. It's just, this is the sound that most people love. Like the way he delivers the lyrics. A lot of guys were doing that in the 90s, women too. And it just kind of vanished for a long time. So it is nice to hear a younger guy bringing that back. And I know he's not the only one. There's a lot of guys that are kind of still on the independent circuit or on the up, like Randall King and John Wolfe and a bunch of dudes out of Texas. And, I could go on and on and on. I know we had Cody Johnson as well, but he's kind of got a different style with the way he delivers lyrics. So this song itself, When You See Me, it's kind of talking about a former love or something like, yeah, I'll be fine when you see me. I'll be a different person. You might not even recognize me. I think most of us have had that thought, like, ooh, when I bump into my ex, I'm going to be like way better, and they're going to be, jealous and shocked, like, oh, wow, they look so good. I don't even recognize them. They're doing so well. But as far as the song, I enjoy it. It's produced really well. All these songs are. Really unique acoustic guitar licks across this one, and then just kind of that telly guitar on top. So it's really nice. It's a solid ballad, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Song number 4, Splitsville. That's a pretty unique title. Haven't heard that one before. This is written by Paul Overstreet, who is a very successful artist himself, singer back in the 90s. If you haven't heard his music, go check it out. This is another ballad. That's not something I would typically do, like follow a ballad with a ballad. But it's Zach Top, he can do whatever the hell he wants. Personally, I just try to mix things up a little bit. This does have more of a mid-tempo feel with kind of how the drums are driving it. Overall, I love the song. Drums sound great. You'll hear that a lot from me. As a big 80s fan, I'm a big production fan. So anything with big drums and screeching guitars and unique things like keys and piano and the whirly pads, that kind of stuff, I just love. So I just get drawn into when I hear that stuff, and the snare is really smacking in this tune. It's kind of that ballad, but a mid-tempo feel to it. It's another breakup song, like he's just stuck here in Splitsville since the split of a relationship. It's almost like he's talking to himself, kind of preparing himself for what's to come. Maybe you'll interpret that a little differently than I do. That was kind of my takeaway. The steel guitar is just cutting in and out, really nice. The piano is just driving underneath. Some folks might not even notice that. I think the acoustic guitar is kind of mimicking what the pattern of the piano is doing as well. So that's really cool. Overall, I give this song a 9 out of 10. Song number 5, Between the Ditches. This is Wyatt McCubbin again. He's all over this album, and I'm sure Zach came across him somehow. His label put him onto it, or his publisher, or whatever, and they started writing together, and obviously he's fell in love with a lot of these songs. But this is 3 ballads in a row. This is crazy. Zach don't give a damn. He's the man. Basically, he's just kind of navigating life's mistakes, challenges, stuff we all have to deal with. It's kind of told from the perspective like he's driving and he's just trying to keep the vehicle on the road, between the ditches, keep the car on the road, like keep life's car on the road. That's kind of a creative way of looking at it. I appreciate that in the writing. Again, Wyatt McCubbin's all over this stuff. And there's really nice fiddle in this, or violin, country music, so we'll call it a fiddle. Kind of comes in on that verse 2, and it's just really pretty. So overall, I love the song, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Song number 6 is called Flip Flop. This is my favorite song on the entire project. Love it. Upbeat and fun. Very creative. It's that perfect summer beach song. You can bump this, just having a good time. Very clever wordplay. I've got a similar song of my own that I'm kind of working on and hopefully have that out later this year. But it's basically just telling the story of a guy, getting dumped or left while he's on vacation. But he doesn't care because he's on vacation. He's got the ocean. He's got the beach. He's just not happy about that specific beach. Like this girl left him and kind of ruined that beach. But he's going to find another one because he don't give a flip-flop if he ever sees that beach again. That's awesome. Love it because we know what he really means. The steel guitar's nice in there. The standard guitar's got a nice kind of a reggae vibe to it. So it just fits really well, that beach thing, and love it. Wouldn't change a thing. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. Flip-flop. Song number 7 is called Livin' a Lie. This is another co-write with Mr. McCubbin. Another ballad, another breakup song. We're seeing a recurring theme here, and if you follow Zach Top's life at all in podcasts or whatever interviews, he has mentioned that he went through a divorce. So I'm sure he just really attached to a lot of these songs, and he's telling us, everything that he's kind of dealt with. I have no clue if, she ended things or he ended things or it was kind of a mutual thing. No idea. But this is just kind of going through the motions of life after losing someone. You're just living a lie. Overall, the song is lovely. There's a nice violin intro. The way Zach delivers the lyrics is great. And it's just that sad, emotional tune. And it kind of has more of an early 2000s feel to this one. And I dig it. 8 out of 10, Livin' a Lie. Song number 8 is called Tightrope. This one, I believe, is just Carson and Zach that wrote this one. Very upbeat, that two-stepping classic country sound that you want to dance to. It's like meeting someone new, changing the way you are because you got this new love. And so you're just trying to impress them. It's nothing crazy, nothing we haven't heard before. Actually, Stevie Ray Vaughan has a similar song called Tightrope, except his is like battling addiction, alcohol or drug addiction, where this is more the addiction of women. So it's kind of fun, but it's nothing we haven't heard before. It's a solid country tune. I wouldn't skip it. I mean, the whole album itself is beautifully done. But it's just not my favorite of the bunch, so I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10. Song number 9 is called I Know a Place. This is another co-write with Tim Nichols, and another ballad, a love song. Our singer, our narrator, so to speak, is describing this very pretty place, a tropical destination where he could take his love and they could just get lost together. I really like the delivery of the lyrics. He holds this note kind of in like that chorus area, ocean blue, where he goes like with the falsetto and the ocean blue. A little high for me. I could probably do it with some practice, but I really love that part. And there's some nice like whirly pads, Wurlitzer keys in this song, I think, is kind of the sound. It gives it a little bit of a 70s vibe, late 70s, early 80s. Really enjoy that. Drums are great, and the steel is in there as always. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. Song number 10 is called She Makes, another Tim Nichols co-write, another ballad. This is a simple tune describing a man's love for a woman and how she can make him feel like a king. He's kind of talking to his God, kind of thanking them. Unclear what religion Zach is, but Tim Nichols, co-writer, unclear with him if he's married. He could be referring to his wife or just stories from friends. Who knows? Production is perfect. There's a nice acoustic guitar solo in there. I'm pretty sure Zach played that one. Seems like he played acoustic all over this record, which you don't hear a lot in today's music. The acoustic kind of being the solo or the driving force in a lot of these country songs. But there was a lot of that in kind of the 80s and the 90s, which was really cool, unique. The Judds, obviously, famous for that. That was their thing. Tons of acoustic. Hardly ever any electric in their songs. It was always acoustic. But overall, She Makes is a solid love song. I give it a 7 out of 10. Song number 11, South of Sanity. This is obviously the fan favorite. It was a single. It's got the most streams on the whole album. This is written by Mark Nessler and, Carson and Zach as well. Mark had some Tracy Bird cuts, Tim McGraw, Aaron Tippin, Let Me Down Easy by Billy Currington. So there's probably some paths crossed there with Carson Chamberlain, who, managed Billy for a little while. So he's been around. He knows what he's doing. Mark, good songwriter. This is my second favorite song on the album. Obviously, we've already mentioned my first, Flip Flop. This has a very 90s vibe. It's almost a Dan Seals vibe to me. You'll get to know me a little more. Dan Seals is one of my favorite top 4 singers, Mount Rushmore singers for me. Love Dan Seals, very underrated. And this song has a lot of those Dan Seal vibes. Nice slow guitar, some really cool licks, a subtle steel guitar coming in and out. The drums are smooth. It's kind of that slow build, Starts with the light piano, violin, acoustic, Zach's vocals, a little bit of reverb on the vocal, which is nice. Tons of that in the 80s and 90s. Zach probably really attached to this song after the divorce, the story of a traveling musician, a girl back home who, is upset that she's not getting the attention or upset that he's never home, almost like she's trying to pull him back home, but he's out there doing what he loves. Obviously, a lot of us artists and musicians can relate to that. Maybe even truck drivers that are, away from home a lot. So overall, love this song. Really well done. This is a 10 out of 10. So the next 3 songs are written strictly by Zach and Carson Chamberlain. Number 12 is called Like I Want You. This is a song that's kind of like an opposite type of song the way it's written. So the sound of the music is a little more mid-tempo, upbeat, fun. You could dance to it. However, the lyrics are kind of more the other way. So there's this man wanting a woman who maybe doesn't feel the same way. And the guy's kind of playing the games and trying to rope her in with this upbeat, fun message, like a new relationship, but the girl's not into it. I really enjoy this one. There's some nice organ or maybe whirly keys underneath the mix, kind of driving that mix. Zach's playing the acoustic all over this, and he just rips it. And I'm sure when they play this live, he just tears it up. So overall, Like I Want You, 9 out of 10. Song number 13 is called Country Boy Blues. I love the intro on this song. It's kind of that classic 90s. The drummer is kind of on a side stick, and it just really lets the vocals shine. It lets, Zach kind of just deliver those lyrics where you can really feel them. He has this fun line, I feel like a dinosaur out on the Vegas Strip. The song itself is kind of about the shifting times in country music. That kind of that 2010, 2011, all the way till basically now, where pop country really took over and traditional country was harder to find. Obviously, it's much more popular now in the last few years, and thanks to people like Zach, Randall King, Sturgill Simpson, Cody Johnson, and all these guys, dudes coming out of Texas, and Jake Worthington, don't want to leave him out. I could go on forever. There's tons of names, but it's kind of just that guy going to town and not being able to find traditional country music. So he can't find it on the radio, and he's just trying to find that old honky-tonk to find his country music. So it's a fun song, Country Boy Blues, 9 out of 10. Song number 14 is called Lovin' the Wrong Things. This is kind of that story of a guy who just wants to play his music, but maybe some other things are kind of pulling him from it. Distractions, or just being a big name in music that might come with, stuff you should probably avoid. A lot of free things coming your way. The song itself is kind of a slow build. Zach's telling the story, and then you got the full sound once the chorus hits. And then it stays full the rest of the way. This is probably my favorite way to lay out a song as far as production goes, where it's that slow start so you can really get those lyrics across, and then it's the big band come the chorus and the rest of the way out. And I just love that. Overall, Loving the Wrong Things. This is a great song, 8 out of 10. Song number 15, the final song, Honky Tonk Till It Hurts. Another Tim Nichols co-write. This is a fun country tune, kind of just typical country, man. You're just angry about your boss and your job, and you just want to get out of there and party and go to a honky-tonk. I love country music, but you'll learn this about me. I do not drink. Obviously, I don't do drugs or anything like that. So I don't always relate to the party drinking songs. That's just not my thing. I try to steer clear of that type of stuff. There's plenty of it out there. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy some of those songs, but it's just not for me. And I always just try to avoid it, and I avoid the bottle. And so I've got a song about addiction because my dad struggled with that. Was a bad alcoholic a lot of my life. So I just kind of stayed away from it. And then as far as the songwriting goes, it's not authentic to me, so I don't dive into those waters. But overall, Honky Tonk Till It Hurts. It's a fine country, fun song. You could bump it. It's nothing we haven't heard before. For me, I would have just left this one off the project and just done 14 songs. But it's fine. It's a fun song. A lot of people are going to love it. It's just not my cup of tea. So overall, I give this one a 6 out of 10. All in all, Zach Top's Ain't In It For My Health That's a very good, fresh sounding country album. You can see why it won a Grammy. A little bit too long for my taste. I prefer kind of that 10 to 13 song range, but I get it. Today's world, Morgan Wallen's doing 30 plus songs, Zach Bryan's doing 20 plus songs, so everybody feels the need to put out all these songs at once. Personally, I would just split them up, and just do like 10, 10, 10, or just have 2 or 3 albums a year. I don't see the problem in that. But, I'm just an independent musician. I'm not signed with anybody. I do everything myself. So I might be a little biased with, a smaller release. This album's amazing. Ain't in it for my health. Go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's any other albums you would like me to review, drop them in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Just trying to grow this channel, and let's review some country music. And if you've got the extra time, feel free to look me up on all the socials. Skylar Geer, SKYLARGEER. I do have some singles and some EPs available out there, with a full album coming sometime in summer 2026. Thank you so much for listening. Country singer reviewing country music. See you next time.